get a chance to meet Khalil?
Yeah, I just met him 30 seconds ago.
Your thoughts on the team going out and making a deal for a position of need?
Yeah, it's something that we needed, I think. And I'm glad that we went out and tried to get better. So, I think I've watched Khalil in the past. I think he'll be able to help us.
I know you're probably not really interested in going down memory lane, but because of the timing and who you're playing and where, when you think back to last year when you suffered your wrist injury, do you remember after taking the hit from Clowney what your initial thought was, and did you know kind of right away this might not be good, like this might be really serious?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to think initially. I was just focused on trying to figure out a way to get back out there, but then you try to throw and you realize it's not going to happen. And then after the game, I kind of figured that something wasn't great.
How did you avoid the normal reaction of you had just gotten healthy, you've gone through a serious injury with your ACL, then the various training camp injuries? How did you avoid the woe is me moment when you realized your season was over with another surgery?
Yeah, I was definitely down in the dumps, but something I'd been through before. I've dealt with these for several years, and I know how to get through them, and you just got to focus on getting better every day, and about a year down the road, you're going to feel fine, and it's going to be behind you. So you just got to attack every day like you're trying to get better and go from there.
You were obviously dialed in after the win on Sunday. What are the past 48 hours or so been like for you?
Well, you take a couple hours to relax, hang with some family after the game, and then yesterday you get back to work. You watch your tape, you get your body right. You just got to move your process up and try to fit as much as you can in the short amount of time that you have. My body feels great. It's weird how your body just kind of knows when you have to play a game, and you feel a little better after a game than you normally would. So we're in a good spot.
Did you catch wind of any of the memes, or are you just looking angry on the sideline? Did anyone ever see
No, I didn't see those.
Okay.
I looked upset.
You look very angry on the sidelines. So.
Maybe my demeanor could be a little better sometimes.
Is that just the state of kind of where y'all are at? I mean, you just know, like, you said after the game, you just kind of know where you want to go. You know what's at stake. Is that kind of just kind of a state of mind going into what y'all want to do this season?
Yeah, look, we played great on Sunday, but I'm not going to ignore when there's things that I felt like we could have done better. Maybe I could have not let my emotions show quite as much, but it's also something that I've tried to do more, and I know people in the locker room have wanted me to do a little more, whether good or bad, but you can't, I don't think, at least I can't show my emotion positively, and then when things don't go well, not let that be known as well. I could have handled it a little differently, but that's how I was feeling.
How comfortable do you feel being in that role, kind of being more demonstrative, I guess, is the best way to put it?
It's a give and take. I know that people feed off of my emotion in a positive way, and it's tough for me. As a quarterback, I think you have to. I play my best when I'm just like this. I'm not, up and down and pissed and then happy and all that. I play my best when I'm just even keeled. So, pick my spots where I feel like I need to say something, whether positive or negative, and at the same time balance what I feel like I need to do to go out and play great.
What's the biggest key on a short week for you in getting ready for a team like Baltimore, which obviously there is some benefit because they're in the division?
Yeah, that's when you play a divisional opponent on Thursday. It's a team so you can, what you're going to see. The patterns of the coverages and the safeties. You know for the most part what works well, what doesn't. And so you can put in maybe a little more than you usually would playing a new team where it's a divisional opponent. You know the defense, so then you can put more in on a short week game plan wise.
You have like 53 hours until kickoff. Can you get Khalil on the same page as you? Is that realistic? How do you think that'll be?
Yeah, I think so. We'll find out, I guess. But football is football for the most part. A couple new languages, but he's right there next to me, so I can tell him what to do when he's out there. We'll see how much he ends up playing, but I'm confident that we can get him right.
So there's a way to do a Clip Notes Thursday night special version and then attack it.
Yeah, you can. It might happen on game day too, where it's just like he's standing next to me, he doesn't know what to do, and I lean over and tell him. He's right next to me, so that's an easy thing for me to do.
Why did you say it was important that y'all went out and tried to get better?
Well, I think one with Zach's injury, that's tough. He was playing really well for us, and we haven't been good enough this year to win the amount of games that we want to, and to make a move like that and try to improve the team mid-season is positive.
What kind of message do you think that sends to y'all as the players in the locker room that y'all are going out and looking at ways to improve the roster?
I think that shows that they believe in the players on this team to go and do what we want to do this year. Maybe there was holes here and there, but they wanted to go out and improve the team for this stretch, and that's exciting and positive for our team, I think.
What do you think a guy like Khalil could bring to this team this week, maybe with the Baltimore that doesn't really know him? Like you said, you guys know each other so well, and then beyond that as well.
Yeah, I think, number one, I hear he's good in pass protection. That might be tough to get him on, blocking the right guy on third down blitzes this week. So we'll see what his role ends up being. But number one, that. And number two, just take some carries off of Chase. He had 27 carries last week, played great. He played great in the pass game too. So now, maybe throw him a couple runs here and there, a couple passes to take the load off Chase a little bit.
Joe, do you think what you do out of the pocket and climb the pocket, has that been the key to the red zone success? Just trying to, I'm not saying it's street yard, but I mean, is that what a lot of it is down here?
Yeah, you watch across the league, and it's a lot of, when you're down there, it's a lot of quarterbacks making plays. It's tough to draw stuff up to get guys wide open, just because you have 10 yards to work with, and you got to be quick and decisive. And we run concepts that I'm comfortable with, so I know when something's going to come open and when something's not. And I'm always confident in my ability to get out of the pocket and make a play, whether it's run it in or find somebody on the back line.
The classic was to throw to sample, and that's what Dan Pitcher always says, it's okay to break the cardinal sin when you're being smart about it. What did you see about that play that you knew that you weren't going to get? That you couldn't do what you did?
Well, Drew was he was blocking. He was blocking the defensive end on the play, and I was able to get around the edge, and Drew, being the smart player that he is, realized that it was a scramble situation, and just went and found a zone for me. So that was a great job by Drew.
Does preparation on the week of a Thursday game feel like cramming for a test back in school?
Yeah, I mean, today is basically 2.5 days in one. So we're here for a while, getting the base downs, and then third downs, and then getting a little preview of the red zone. There's not a lot of time to get it done. That's why playing in a divisional opponent is advantageous on a Thursday night. But yeah, it takes a toll on you for sure. But the little bye weekend is worth it afterwards.
Do you try to make a conscious effort to make it feel like a normal week, or do you just go into it thinking like it's not a normal week, forget that, and try to take that?
Yeah, you can't go through your normal process. You can't go through all the things you normally do and take a second and relax. Those are just things you don't have time for. And I always have the feeling whenever I'm out there warming up on Thursday before the game, it's like, dang, it's here already. Can't believe we're about to play another game, but it goes fast.
How important was it to spread it around last Sunday to get a lot of guys that may have not felt, in the moment, catching the football? Can that be beneficial for like Thursday night?
Yeah, I think so. I have confidence in everybody that steps out there, and we expect everybody that steps foot on the field to be effective and play up to our standard, and I think everybody did on Sunday. It kind of just depends on the team that you're playing. The team on Sunday mixes up their coverages a lot, and so you never know where the ball's going to end up when you play a team like that. Certain teams are more predictable pre-snap, and then you can kind of move guys around and get guys where you want to, depending on the route and the coverage. But some teams like to mix it up, and that was one of those days.
In terms of the roster, kind of where y'all are at going into the season, all of the things that the week 10, do you feel like you're in a good enough spot to compete for what you want to compete by the end of the season?
Yeah, I feel good about it. That was positive Sunday was really positive. Our defense played great. Our great players played great. That's what we're going to need going forward. We're going to need our great players to play up to their standard, and we're going to need everybody else to play great as well in their role and find ways to win games.
How
How
often
do you
is it?
assess? How do you assess how you and the offense as a whole played in the first game against Baltimore? Because on one hand, it wasn't enough to win, but on the other hand, is it realistic to think you can score more than 38 against them?
Yeah, we had 2 drives in the first half that we didn't score on, and we didn't convert 3rd and shorts on both of them. Through the interception on the last drive where we had a chance to finish it. So there's definitely more on the table.
How often do you think a red zone touchdown is a product of improv or a product of the play works?
I would say probably 50-50.
Seeing that early November game, Thursday night, M&T Bank Stadium, when the schedule was released, did it pop in your head that the NFL schedule makers did there?
Yeah, I think they like to, if a star player gets hurt in a primetime game, they like to schedule the same exact game on the same exact week, on the same exact time the year later. I think that happened to Aaron Rodgers this year, happened to me this year, so I think that's something they like to do. So I think you can probably expect that.
As even keeled as you are, does this game mean anything extra to you?
Divisional opponents always mean a lot, and especially where we are right now, point of the year, playing Baltimore, is a big game.
What week would you say is the best your wrist has felt?
Right now.
Is there anything, I know sometimes players will say coming back from injury, have to get hit the first time, then they're fully back. For you on Thursday, maybe nerves beforehand, after maybe you get hit the first play, will that kind of be the same thing for you when you're back there in Baltimore?
No, we're past that at this point. That's always first, second game type of mindset. Once we get to this point of the season, it's you just go out there and play. It's the pregame jitters are gone, everything is gone. You're calm, cool, collected, and you just go out and play football.